back from New York. It's a show that's back from watching cards.
Come on, man.
I mean,
Come on.
when
Brew is inspiring young and, I guess, all ages men, we don't say Brew's back from talking. We give it the gravity that it deserves.
But it's cards.
I was broadcasting.
If he was playing cards.
I wasn't playing cards.
I know, we're
watching
watching
cards and doing what people do when they watch cards. Talk about
I
it.
was broadcasting the crown jewel of the gambling world.
I know, but when I was watching the final table, what did I say to you?
That I wasn't talking
You
enough.
weren't talking enough. I'm like, when is this guy
Really?
going to talk?
Well,
I can't even fathom Nick.
I watched the whole thing waiting. I'm like, it's
I'm
going
not
to
the star
happen.
of that.
Guess what?
The
He was on the
athletes are
desk.
star. I was doing some play-by-play, some on the desk, some analysis, doing a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was one of the
I
greatest.
thought you were like the star of the show, the Howard Cosell
the players
of
are
this
the
thing.
star of the show.
Nah.
Well, I mean, among the broadcast.
Yeah,
Shout out Poker Go. Shout out everybody. Shout out Mike, the Grinder Mizraki, for the greatest single-season performance in poker history. Hands down.
True story.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we're starting with serious news.
Yeah. Tough session.
Rashee Rice pleads guilty to racing his car that resulted in a Dallas crash in 2024. He receives 5 years probation and 30 days jail time that can be served in the next 5 years. Schefter reporting that he is now likely to receive a multi-game suspension. Rashee Rice released this statement. There has been a lot of sleepless nights thinking about the damages that my actions caused, and I will continue working within my means to make sure that everyone impacted will be made whole. I fully apologize for the harm I caused to innocent drivers and their families. Nick, your reaction?
I think Rashee Rice is incredibly lucky 3 times over. And I think that, listen, so he's going to do 30 days in jail at some point. He's going to have 5 years probation. You got to stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? So that's a real thing. And he still got incredibly lucky. The penalty from the courts could have been far more severe. The injuries he sustained, which were none, could in the accident could have been obviously could have killed him, could have been career-ending, whatever. And the injuries, the innocent people who just happened to be on the road sustained could have been far more severe. It was as reckless as one can be, really behind the wheel sober, and got very, very lucky. And so now, is it going to have an impact on the Chiefs? Yeah. Is it going to is the hardest part of their schedule the very beginning, where I expect he's definitely going to miss the Chargers and Philly game. He might also miss the Giants and Ravens game, and it maybe even extends to where he misses the Jags and Lions game. I wouldn't imagine it goes past that first column, but I think 4 games is probably what you would expect. 6 would certainly be on the board. And I just think he's already paid $1 million in restitution plus $100,000 in other people's legal fees. He's going to lose out on maybe $500,000 in salary, whatever it is. And I just hope he knows that this is still the best possible outcome for him.
I'm going to pull a Nick Wright. See that?
Oh, see?
It's my chicken scratch. You might not be able to read it. It says incredibly lucky.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He is, not just because he didn't kill himself or somebody else, but what he did, as you said, is the height of recklessness and irresponsibility. He broke the social contract.
That's right.
That we all have. There's a social contract that when I leave the building tonight and walk to my car, nobody's just going to come up and sucker punch me. Right? I know it happens, but that's when you're a criminal and you pay for it. But that's the social contract. And drag racing is always reckless and dangerous and all that. But when you watch that video, it's the middle of the day, traffic. There's traffic. Can you imagine driving home tonight and just 2 cars going 100 miles an hour just all of a sudden come? Fortunately, nobody was killed. But this is a slap on the wrist. For all the penalties you just mentioned, this is a slap on the wrist. And then there's some reports that the Chiefs are expecting around 4 games, as you kind of mentioned. He'd be fortunate if it's 4. It could easily be half the season or whatever, and it would be justified because this was just terrible what happened, and it can't happen again. So hopefully he really is sincere in his apology and has learned from this. But look, he's a great wide receiver, and you hope he learned from his mistake. Fortunately, there were no deaths, and whatever he gets is justified to me as far as suspension.
Okay. I think we're going to leave that there. Do you have anything?
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
Now, next up, we're going to go back to the football field, but oddly, we're actually going to talk about Micah Parsons and The Undertaker. Micah Parsons donned a huge Cowboys hat and sat down with The Undertaker of wrestling fame to talk about how the Cowboys can rise from the dead after a 7-10 season. Here's Micah and The Undertaker. Chopped out The Undertaker there, Dusty.
Oh.
I thought we were going to get more Undertaker video. Brew, your reaction to Micah and his contract.
Look, Micah Parsons at 26 years old in that silly, oversized hat is making more sense than anybody in the Cowboys front office. I mean, like, there's nothing new here. This is ridiculous. And it's predictable at the same time. Same thing they did with Ezekiel Elliott, with Dak Prescott, with CeeDee Lamb. They are doing with Micah Parsons. We all know you're going to re-sign him. He's too good. We have questions about your defense with Micah.
Correct.
Imagine what it'll look like
I think without
him.
Micah, it might be the worst defense in the league.
Yeah. Right? And you got a $60 million quarterback. You've got one highly paid receiver, another one that's going to be expecting to get paid. Like, you have to bring him back. You probably could have got him last summer at low 30s, 35 million, somewhere around there.
The high water mark last summer was still Nicky Bosa at 34.
Yeah,
so if you just wanted Nicky Bosa plus
whatever.
$1, 34.1, whatever.
Now it's going to be over 40 million, and it's
Over
just
40 seems like.
Well, that's what
Myles
because
Garrett
that's what
got
Myles
40,
Garrett. Since Bosa set the high water mark, and it stayed there for a while. Because remember, Chris Jones signed post-Bosa and got less than. Now, one's an edge, one's a D tackle. But Max came in this summer at 35.5. Danielle Hunter came in at 36. And I like Danielle Hunter, but he is not Micah Parsons. And Myles Garrett got 40. And by the way, TJ Watt might come in before Micah.
I'd like to hear some playoff victories for all those guys.
Well, you're right.
It's just
but that helps Micah because you can't blame. You can't hold it against them that they haven't won.
It feels like while the running back market feels suppressed. You're just rattling off guys.
Okay, well, Nick Bosa's been in 2 Super Bowls. Chris Jones, who was the second highest paid.
Chris Jones, great.
You know what I mean? Has been in 5. So I think it is.
Maybe it's Myles Garrett, TJ Watt.
Yeah, and TJ Watt
and the Steelers have a top defense.
Yeah, and I would argue Myles and TJ Watt were the premier reasons their teams made the playoffs when they've made the playoffs. You know what I mean? And
right, because it was just a year ago. Think about that. That the Browns
were in the playoffs and more dangerous than the Chiefs, if you listen to some people that year. And so, no, that was. The
somebody
Chiefs
actually
didn't catch any passes.
That?
Of course, it might have been somebody on the show. But it's sort of, you don't remember. Everybody forgets. But so I don't like that. I understand your point, which is there is an argument to be made that aside from quarterback, you actually just want like B+ players. And not A+, players because of how you have to pay them and what it is. But I think Mike is such a clear A+. He's worth the $40 million that they're going to pay him. But Brew's point is they could have gotten him for $35, so it's $5 million given away.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem, look, he should go get every last dime he can. But I don't think in the past he was like a year ago, I don't think he was looking at $40 million.
No.
I don't think he was looking at breaking the bank. He was going to get what he deserves. But now, if I'm a player in Micah's position, when the Cowboys do it this way, it kind of makes you say, you know what? I'm getting every last dime that I can get. Yeah. Whereas I would have settled for 40. And a dollar.
But
Jerry
now it doesn't like
at least
pinch pennies when it comes to giving out these contracts. He just likes to wait a long time.
Not right before this. Well, see, and here's the thing, and everybody's caught on to this now. Remember, I was long ago saying Jerry Jones was about entertainment. Jerry Jones about creating drama that entertains the masses, that puts the Cowboys on television and raises the value of the franchise. He might be fine with this. Because, as you said, he hasn't been cheap in paying guys when it's time. But he might be fine with this because guess what? We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, who I don't know if any of us expect them to make the playoffs in the first block of our show.
Yeah, but
so this is good for Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I mean,
guess,
yes and
that's
no,
what he
because
wants.
my other takeaway from this, while you were focused on the interviewer, understandably, because it's The Undertaker, one of the greatest people in the history of sports entertainment. I was focused more on Micah's outfit because he just really loves being a Cowboy. And he's a great player. He gets in no trouble. You know what I mean? Like, I understand right. I get people get annoyed with the podcast or whatever. He is a great brand ambassador. Yes. Like, literally look at him right there. I know it's silly, but he is
fair. That's a good point.
And so he is every year of his career except for last year in the Defensive Player of the Year, top 3 or top 4. He's incredibly productive. He's incredibly hardworking. He changed positions when he got to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like he's malleable. He wants to, have breakfast with the new D coordinator when the guy, you know what I mean, and learn for all these things. He's the easiest, most obvious guy to pay.
Yeah. He also said he's going to ball out no matter what.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing.
Will.
And he's also not holding your feet to the fire as far as not. It would have been totally reasonable for him not to show up to any of this stuff. And so, if I did think the Cowboys were actually like, you know what, we have to reset our books sometimes. We're actually not going to pay you. You're going to play out your rookie deal, and maybe we're going to franchise you, and maybe we're going to trade you. While I would maybe disagree with it, I would at least say, okay, that's a plan. This isn't a plan more than it is, we don't want to do it yet. And it just costs you, the $5 extra million you paid Micah, the $4 extra million you paid CD, the $10 extra million a year you paid Dak because you waited on all those guys. That's one more awesome player you could have.
Yeah.
Or 3 more, average players. Yeah. It's just bad business.
That defense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just bad business.
Jeremy Fowler's top 10 list of players marches on. Coaches, scout, and executives weighing in. Today we're looking at wide receivers with a surprise, at least to me, at the top. Jamar Chase coming in at number 1, then Justin Jefferson at 2, Tyreek at 3, CeeDee Lamb at 4, A.J. Brown at 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 6, Malik Neighbors at 7 after a historic rookie year, Nico Collins, friend of the show, Mike Evans, and Garrett Wilson at 10. So, Nick, we'll start with you. Are you buying that Jamar Chase at the top is better than Justin Jefferson?
No, and not only am I not buying it, and I think Jamar's awesome. I think Jamar's a future Hall of Famer. He hasn't done enough yet, but if I would bet on him being a Hall of Famer. I thought this was one of the positions that we didn't argue about. That it was the way kind of the Mahomes should be talked about and was talked about a couple years ago, where the debate starts at 2. Mm-hmm. And even though Jamar Chase won the receiving Triple Crown last year, I thought everybody understood, well, the best guy in the league's the guy, Justin Jefferson, who's never had a great quarterback, whose averages...
Darnold last year.
Exactly. And you look at it as Sam Darnold won 14 games. I look at it as Justin Jefferson, carried them when he's there, and he averages more yards per game than any player in the history of the league. Of any position, any player, he averages the most. And so I think Jamar Chase is phenomenal. That guy is the best.
You got Chase as a clear number 2?
Yes, because Tyreek to me has slipped a bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. To me, Jefferson's clearly number 1.
Can I show you the stats just head to head, bro? When you look at the stats, because I think you make a great argument for Justin Jefferson, and Greg has spoke glowingly about how unstoppable he is. The numbers really scream Jamar Chase, and granted Jefferson
last year,
missed out a little bit. 127 receptions to 103, 25 more targets, 1,700 yards to 1,500, 13 yards per catch to about 13 to 15, and then 17 touchdowns to 10, bro. All in favor of Jamar.
Yeah, look, I really wanted to go with Justin because, to your point, and this is huge, he hasn't had a great quarterback.
No.
Jamar's playing with Joe Burrow, and he's played with Kirk Cousins, who's good, but not, maybe never been a top 10 quarterback, and then Sam Darnold last year. But for me, That's great. And you're right. I feel the same way about Justin. You were talking about Jamar. He's awesome. Jamar scares me more.
Wow.
Really?
Because of his yards after the catch. Like he's played one fewer season than Justin and already has more yards after catch than Justin does. And Justin's not bad yards after catch, but this dude is phenomenal. Last year he had like 150 more yards after the catch than the second highest receiver. You know, because he's so fast, he's a little faster than Justin, you know, I think a little more athletic, jumps a little higher when you look at their combine stuff. And he's so strong. He's like a running back once he catches the ball.
No doubt.
And that's why I would take him because, and I get it, like I said, he's got the better quarterback. He's got T on the other side, T. Higgins. But he's scarier to me because of his damage after the catch.
Listen.
Like a running back after the catch.
And he had one of the greatest run after catch games ever in the first game the Bengals ever beat the Chiefs. The regular season game, Burrow's, I think, second year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they had a huge comeback. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I think Jamar had like 270 yards, like 250 yards in that game. And a lot of it was like quick hitches, and he just and went.
See that in today's NFL, where that's a lot of it is the quick passes, his ability after the catch is incredible.
I buy all that. And again, the guy won the Triple Crown. You showed the numbers. I also feel like Jamar is, if we are just evaluating them as players, Jamar is in the absolute, like, ideal situation in that, who's your quarterback? My college quarterback, who I have a rapport with. Who, you know what I mean? Can the defense just worry about you? No, we have another awesome receiver on the other side. Do you guys have a lot of big leads where you stop throwing the ball? No, actually, our defense is terrible, so we're airing it out the whole time. Meanwhile, Justin has shown he can do it not only with Cousins and Darnold. They have had other backup quarterbacks when Cousins was, out, and he is just producing. I like Jordan Addison, and they've had nice weapons, but he has been the number one guy that every time you play the Vikings, it's like, man, if we can take away Justin Jefferson, what are they going to do? And he can't be taken away. And I just think I think Jamar Chase would be awesome everywhere, but not to the level that I think Jamar Chase right now we are seeing the absolute best he can be because of his situation.
Sure.
I think for Justin Jefferson, we're seeing like the 15th best Justin Jefferson. You know what I mean? Like, what if he had...
It's like Randy Moss and Tom Brady.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Like all of a sudden, it's like, oh!
Oh, that's... you know what I mean, Brew? Like, if and so it just, to me...
Tyreek and Mahomes.
Yeah.
Once the combo is there. He did have Sam Darnold. Won 14 games and threw for 4,000 yards.
How many of those yards were to Justin Jefferson? A lot of them. 1,500 of them, right?
Yeah, well, I look at it as 2,500 not to him.
2,800.
Which is
43.
Wow, it's just an amazing performance by
We'll
Sam Darnold.
We'll see what he does up in Seattle.
Nothing to shake. Well, yeah, let's see how J.J. McCarthy goes. They like to air
You know
it
what
out
I bet
Michigan.
J.J. Here's the thing. You know what I bet J.J. McCarthy will do? Throw a bunch of awesome passes to Justin Jefferson that if they're not awesome, he'll make look awesome.
That's
like, you know what? And again, I'm not taking.
No, they're both incredible.
And it's really interesting that Tyreek, and I know we'll talk about him later. I think he's out of the discussion now. His ceiling is
He's 31.
His ceiling is 3. But
I don't think he's 3.
Well, but I'm saying his ceiling.
His ceiling is 3,
1 year ago, the discussion was, is he gonna win league MVP as a receiver? Get 2,000 yards. Remember, it turned on Tyreek quickly.
Too independent.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Once Tua is not there,
we'll see. I saw him in the
falls out.
airport last week. He looked pretty good. Looked pretty.
What did he
He's
say?
running
Anything
around
interesting?
something?
Yeah,
we did. He told me
Outfit-wise
He
or
told me not to
speed-wise?
repeat what he told me.
Wow.
Okay. Was it nice? Was it about Nick?
No.
Oh.